My dear friends, we live in an age where comfort is abundant, information is endless, and choices are unlimited. Yet many people feel restless, anxious, and quietly dissatisfied. Even those who appear successful often carry an unspoken sense that something is missing. This feeling is not a personal failure. It is not weakness. It is a universal human experience that the Buddha identified more than 2,500 years ago. He called it dukkha. Dukkha is commonly translated as suffering, but this translation does not fully capture its meaning. The Buddha was not simply talking about pain, sadness, or tragedy. He was pointing to something deeper and more subtle. Dukkha refers to the unsatisfactory nature of existence when we expect it to provide permanent happiness, security, or identity. When people hear this, they often misunderstand the Buddha as pessimistic. But the Buddha was not denying happiness. He was explaining why happiness, as we usually seek it, does not last. His teaching was not a rejection of life, but a clarification of how life actually works. Consider modern life. We set goals and work hard to achieve them. When we succeed, we feel happy, but the happiness fades. Soon a new goal appears, a new desire arises, a new comparison enters the mind. The cycle continues. This is not because something is wrong with us. It is because conditioned happiness cannot satisfy the mind permanently. The Buddha explained dukkha in layers. The most obvious layer is physical and emotional pain. Illness, aging, loss, disappointment, and death. No society, no matter how advanced, has escaped these realities. Medicine can delay suffering, technology can reduce discomfort, but the fundamental vulnerability of the human condition remains unchanged. Beyond this obvious suffering lies a more subtle form. This is the suffering that comes from change. Things we enjoy do not stay the same. Relationships evolve, excitement fades, success becomes pressure, youth becomes age. Even pleasure carries the seed of dissatisfaction because it cannot remain. We suffer not because pleasure exists, but because it ends. Modern culture encourages constant stimulation and endless improvement. New products, new experiences, new identities are offered as solutions to dissatisfaction. But each solution is temporary. The mind quickly adapts and asks for more. This creates a background tension that never fully disappears. The deepest level of dukkha is more difficult to recognize. It is the unsatisfactoriness present in all conditioned experiences, even when nothing seems wrong. Even during calm moments, there is subtle restlessness. Even during success, there is fear of loss. Even during pleasure, there is the anxiety of change. This happens because everything we depend on for happiness arises from conditions. Conditions are unstable. What is unstable cannot provide lasting security. The mind senses this instability and remains tense, even when life appears comfortable. The Buddha did not blame the world for this. He did not say life is cruel. He said the problem lies in misunderstanding. We expect permanence from impermanent things. We expect control where control is impossible. We expect identity from what is constantly changing. From this misunderstanding arises craving. Craving is not simply wanting something. It is the demand that life conform to our expectations. It is the insistence that pleasure stay, that pain disappear, that conditions obey our wishes. Craving fuels anxiety, comparison, exhaustion, and dissatisfaction. In the modern world, craving is constantly stimulated. Advertising, social media, and success culture reinforce the idea that fulfillment is always just one achievement away. But achievement does not end craving. It strengthens it. The Buddha's teaching does not ask us to reject pleasure or abandon life. It asks us to see clearly. When we see that conditioned things cannot provide lasting fulfillment, clinging naturally weakens. We still enjoy experiences, but we no longer depend on them for our sense of worth or safety. This understanding changes how we live. We work without tying our identity to success. We love without trying to possess. We enjoy without fear of loss. Life continues, but the inner struggle softens. Understanding dukkha is not a cause for despair. It is the beginning of wisdom. When we stop demanding permanence from impermanent things, the mind relaxes. When craving weakens, peace becomes possible. The Buddha did not promise a perfect world. He offered a path to freedom within an imperfect one. That freedom begins with understanding the real meaning of dukkha. When dukkha is understood, suffering does not need to be exaggerated or denied. It is seen clearly and met with wisdom. This clarity leads to compassion, balance, and inner stability. This teaching is not ancient or outdated. It addresses the same mind we have today. Technology has changed, but craving has not. Conditions have changed, but impermanence has not. The Buddha's insight remains relevant because it speaks directly to the structure of human experience. When we understand that structure, we are no longer confused by it. May this understanding bring clarity. May it reduce craving. May it lead toward peace. Namo Buddhaya.